course it is.
It's a penis.
It's a penis.
It's a penis. Well, welcome to another episode of the Blue Banana Podcast. With me today, I have the blue banana and the yellow banana. How are you guys doing?
Who is who? Choose your answer very carefully.
Oh, Sophie's the blue banana.
I feel like that's...
banana.
I'm glad we established that.
We're doing good. I'm going to speak for both of us. How are you, Manu?
I'm doing also good. I did take a small break off of YouTube, which the small arc for that is that you have a panic attack because you're like, oh, I'm not going to upload for 2 weeks. So obviously everyone's going to forget I exist, which doesn't end up happening. But yeah, I'm working again and it's been good. I've kind of like realized that I needed a small break, so I'm happy I took that. And yeah, fresh for more content. So I'm probably the most creatively relaxed person today. Is that correct? Is that a correct assumption?
I would say so. I feel all juiced out, but it's something really strange that I experienced because I went to a work conference and I ended up having to give like a short lightning talk, an impromptu lightning talk about a topic. And as I was like going through the process of, okay,
guys,
what am I going to say?
Fifth.
What am I... Every time I went to practice in my head before I got up, I would start with, hello, my Nakamatachi. And I was like, do not get up there and say hello, my Nakamatachi. So that was a bit of a fear going through my head.
That's good though, like, because honestly, since I started doing YouTube, I don't think I really have given any, like, maybe in university or something, but I don't think I've really given any, like, public speaking, like, any speeches or anything. So was it, like, was it a good experience? Did you feel like talking on YouTube and speaking to the camera was, like, good practice for giving a good speech?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, I can't say how well I spoke. I mean, I suppose the audience will have to vouch for that, but
it was
I
fantastic.
will say that I thought that it went okay. Something that I realized afterwards, though, was my teammates took a photo of me, and I'm like literally a floating head because of the podium, like the stand, and you can't see me, and it's just my head.
Like this?
Yeah, just my head. So that was embarrassing.
Let me tell.
Yeah.
Oh, today I want to talk about...
They really should have gotten you a milk crate or something to
I
stand
think so.
on.
I mean, it was an impromptu thing. It
Are there
wasn't
no boxes here?
exactly. I should have asked someone. Kneel before me. No.
Oh, wow. I got very
Oh, wow.
dominatrix
Yeah,
very
oh.
quickly.
All right. How have you been, Liam?
I've been exactly the same. I haven't done either of the things that you two have. I haven't taken a break. I haven't done other work. I've just been well and truly into the realm of fictional pirates, and I'm feeling creatively neutral, I would say.
Okay. Well, that's better than drained.
Yeah.
I guess. Speaking of neutral and drained, today I want to talk to you guys about something that might either fix that drainage and neutral feeling, or make it a lot worse, depending how good you're at it. I kind of wanted to talk to you about cooking and food.
I thought you were going for plumbing.
Yeah, makes sense.
I mean, it depends. I mean,
Can you
really
be neutral
stress
about
the
plumbing?
drainage, yeah.
make or break your day there.
It can.
It's very true.
Let me start with a cold question to you, Liam. Because I think before we started recording this podcast, Liam opened up to us that he's actually not that invested into the realm of food and cooking. So I thought it would be a great idea to ask him what he would cook a paella with, a Spanish paella. What ingredients and what would be the steps you'd take to make that paella?
Well, I don't think I've ever eaten a paella. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it.
That was not the question.
So I'm going to make a fool of myself, I suppose. Paella.
Well, that was, I have to admit, that was kind of why I asked that question with that intention.
So you
really
didn't
could have
disappoint.
picked something that I've eaten, but I guess you would never know. I'm gonna say tomato. That goes in a lot of things, all across Europe. Maybe some kind of meat. I don't know what kind of dish this is.
What? No, we need like, please give me a grocery list that I can like buy.
Okay, I'm gonna go ham, because ham is big in Spain. Ham, tomato, cheese.
What's like the
potato.
main ingredient you feel we need? Potato, okay.
The main ingredient? Love, Manu. The main ingredient is love.
Oh,
Oh my god.
Liam, can you cook one for me?
I want one
Yeah.
love, please.
And due to the love, it doesn't matter what the other ingredients
Oh, I
are.
see.
It'll be a
Right.
perfect paella.
Okay, well, now that we have the ingredients, what's the process?
God.
How would you prepare it?
Okay, so first, you take the tomatoes, you throw them in the fucking bin, because I hate them. We take the potatoes, we chop them up, we put them in the pot, we make the pot hot, set it to boiling somehow. I imagine there's a fire involved. The meat, very important. The ham, I suppose we should probably cook that. Maybe on a pan. Maybe make it bacon. I don't know.
Why not make it bacon?
And what's the other? I suppose you'd also need some sort of vegetable, maybe, if it's in this imaginary dish.
Or you
that I'm
did
just
throw
making
away
up.
the
Throw
tomatoes.
away your tomatoes.
That's all right. Say, is tomato a vegetable or a fruit?
Well, I think it's a fruit,
I think
but
it
like
is a fruit.
technically,
Yeah,
for
there's
everyone, it's,
no
but you use it like a
fruit
vegetable.
in paella. Oh, absolutely not. I just remembered we had the potato, so it's all fine. And what you do is you take the ham, the potato, go like that, and you inject the love into
What's
it.
that? You clap them together.
This is- you have ham on one hand, potato on the other. Smoosh.
And then you present your dish.
Paella.
I kind of
Perfect.
demand a video of you cooking that dish now. Mush.
Mush.
Yep.
With a healthy dose of love.
Very
Some seasoning,
healthy.
maybe, Liam?
Perhaps too healthy.
Except
yeah,
love.
you know, some sprinkle of sea salt.
I like how
that's
we
good.
got quite specific.
Maybe
There's sea
maybe
salt.
some black pepper. I don't know. Maybe some coriander. You know, just a couple of little sprigs.
That sounds good. Do you want me to? Should we solve the riddle? I feel I
riddle.
do like your paella
Definitely.
a lot,
Firstly,
honestly.
definitely
Can
the
you tell me
potato
how
and
it's
the ham.
pronounced? Because I'm not confident
Paella?
that I'm getting paella.
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 I mean, none of us are particularly Spanishly inclined, I imagine.
I used to speak Spanish.
Oh.
I can't anymore. I do have family also that speaks Spanish.
I imagine that there'll also be some kind of spice in it.
Mm,
I don't know what kind, but
just give me one.
it just seems. Oh, wasabi? I don't know.
Yeah, wasabi is fantastic.
Yeah, love it. We got some fusion going on.
I don't know, just basic.
I feel
bitch
like that
red
we have
chili
our
sauce or
thumbnail.
something,
The
I don't know.
modern paella.
Liam's secret dish. It's just like wasabi, potato, and bacon. And love.
It does sound like an interesting challenge to like give us all a dish that we'd never heard of and just asked us to make it based on the name alone.
Okay, well let me solve the riddle, but I really like you fought hard, Liam.
Okay.
So, what is paella? Paella is a classic Spanish rice dish mainly made with rice, saffron, vegetables, chicken, and seafood cooked and served in one pan.
So did I get any of it right?
Like you bordered along the lines.
Wait. Okay, let's go through it. You might. Ingredients. Produce. First of all, onion, bell pepper, garlic,
Onion is so basic.
tomatoes. You
But he
did throw
threw it
those
away.
away.
But I thought about them.
You can put in parsley and peas, so like stuff like this. Then spices, bay leaf, paprika, saffron, salt and pepper. So I feel like that's a point for the
That's a
salt.
point
there.
each. I
2
said both.
points.
That
Yeah.
is. Did you say pepper?
I
You
did.
black pepper.
That's 2 points.
Plus 3 tomato.
Well, you did throw
but
those
you
away.
threw
though.
it
So that's the
away.
2.5 for mentioning it.
They're there in spirit.
Right, for the seafood version, you can put like shrimp or mussels or calamari in it.
I was never going to put that in my pail.
Not under my watch.
Not in my wasabi
good
paella.
No, not in my wasabi cheese bacon paella.
Cheese would have been a good addition, wouldn't it? So it's a rice dish, so obviously there's no potato.
Yes, olive oil, white wine, and broth. And so basically, you cook the rice in white wine for 10 minutes. Then you add chicken and the rice. Once the wine is boiling, then you add the broth, and then like you add all the other ingredients and slowly let it like stir and simmer until it's done.
If I knew there was white wine involved, I would have said chicken. Because that's, the classic pairing meat.
I mean, ham works, sort of. Isn't chorizo like a very popular ingredient in paella?
You're a good friend, Sophie.
I'll give it to you.
You're an excellent colleague.
Yeah.
I'm a team
It's like-
worker.
Sophie's like, you basically got it right.
Same thing, potato, carb, rice.
Is that the end of the ingredients list?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, this is like
Well,
one
it's
version
not.
of like
It's a
many.
non-love version, for sure.
There's no love in this one. Oh
I
no,
am-
no, no, no,
I
no.
gotta tell you, I'm not excited to eat the paella that you've just described.
It's
No
really
love.
good.
I mean,
It's just
I really...
No love in there.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, I really enjoy paella, but I would have been more excited to taste Liam's wasabi love.
Love
yeah.
ham potato with sea salt.
Exactly. And black
like-
pepper.
Liam doing the bay, like the salt bay. You need the glasses too, though.
I mean,
Nice.
my version sounds very easy to make, so anytime you want to come by, Sophie.
That sounds good.
Does it?
Honestly, the first time I come to Australia to see you guys, let's make that dish.
I
Well,
agree.
we have the recipe now, so.
Yeah.
Except, like, instead of mushing them together, let's maybe put them on a plate.
No, you
eat
have
it
to
the
eat
way
it
I
off
tell you to
Liam's
eat it.
hands. He will hand feed it to you. Yeah,
Eat this
exactly.
mashed potato
This is
bacon.
my love.
It's like feeding my dog a treat.
Okay, well, with love.
Yeah.
With love, clearly.
That's the most important part.
Well, so now that we have had one experience, I do challenge you, Liam, to give Sophie a recipe.
Sophie's a much more adventurous eater than me. I'm just gonna look up obscure foods.
Obscure foods, alright.
Sophie, what's an area of culinary adventure that you don't often go down? Something glutinous, I imagine.
Yeah, that. Yes, glutinous. Something Eastern European.
Sophie, whilst I'm looking this up, can you explain the penis fish of South Korea that I've just found?
The what?
The penis fish of South Korea.
I mean, I'm
Send
gonna
you a
have
link.
to. I'm gonna have to search this up. Penis fish.
I would say lies. Don't pretend,
What?
Sophie.
It's
No,
number
you
2
know
on the
this.
list that I've just sent you. Defend yourself.
Well, apparently, Manu, it also washes up on Japanese coasts, but it is called the Eurycus unincuntus.
I'm sorry?
Unincunx?
Wow, it
Unincuntus.
looks like a penis.
Did you just demonetize us with a proper C-bomb in that, Sophie?
Oh, I've definitely seen this fish. I know which fish you're talking about. I just didn't know that's what it was called. Oh, yeah, but
Sophie's like, oh, I love that fish.
I had that last night. Also called a fat innkeeper worm. A fat
Are we
innkeeper
gonna
worm.
let that stand? Are we just gonna like gloss over that last comment? No.
Is it my comment? What did I say?
Yeah, it was your comment.
It's all innocent here. I've never actually tasted it, but I have walked through fish markets in Korea and I've seen this. And I do actually distinctly remember going, oh, that actually, like, my friends and I having a laugh at it. So when you said it, I did think, oh, that might be what he was talking about, but it escaped my mind. But I wonder how you eat it.
It's just Sophie talking about penis in general.
Yes, well, very accurate to
That's a good
male
title for a
anatomy.
highlight.
Very accurate to male anatomy. The body is about 10 to 30 centimeters long. That is,
So we can all feel bad about that.
that's,
Accurate, right?
yeah. I mean, isn't that standard?
Yeah, 30 centimeters absolute standard.
Baseline.
Yellowish brown in color. On the surface of the body, there are many small papillae. Any of you guys scientifically inclined when it comes to...
No, this is your weird fish.
Penis fish is typically eaten raw.
True.
It's a delicacy.
It has a little bit bland with light sweet taste, which makes the sauce crucial.
Oh, it's actually an aphrodisiac.
Of course it is.
It's a penis.
It's a penis.
It's a penis. Of course.
What did you expect?
Of course it is.
Yeah. I mean, I was just pretending not to know that. Like I said, I had it last night. Okay, so just going on a bit more of a sanitary route, going down a much more...
Wait. Did you have the fish or the penis, Sophie?
I ate something last night. Let's just leave it at that. So this is, okay, so like you said, Manu, this is typically eaten raw, sliced and raw. And we're going down we're gonna wash...
Not a fan of the slicing.
We're going to wash our brain with soap because another culinary, I guess, adventure in Korea is eating live octopus.
Yeah. fuck off.
Have you guys tried that?
No.
Okay, I can actually say now without any sort of joke. Like, I've actually tried that. So basically, it's small baby octopus, just the tentacles, and it moves.
It's all sexual.
It moves. You can still see it moving.
Don't do too.
This is getting very hentai, Sophie.
No,
And it goes all around you.
But they're tiny. They're tiny pieces. They're tiny pieces, and I'm actually gonna like. I'm not kidding. It's actually quite fun. It's a mixture of fun and delicious. Because it's like sort of an adventure. It's an experience as you're eating it. You have to swallow. You have to chew it and swallow it before it grabs your tongue, because it can grab your tongue and you might choke. So you have to chew it up real fast and swallow it, but you dip it in sesame oil, and sesame oil is a thing of the gods. So whilst Manu is just losing his shit over here, take my word for it and try live tentacles. I will vouch for it.
Noted. Probably not, though.
It's on my bucket list. Try live tentacles.
Yeah, Manu, you could catch a ferry over to Korea. You could try it this weekend.
Sophie, I was trying so hard to give this. I was actively thinking. I was sitting down. I was like, oh man, we're always like dirty talking every
said
episode.
not
Like,
in the first 10 minutes.
Let me come up with a topic that we can't fuck this up cooking.
Yeah.
and Liam was like, there's a penis fish.
Yes,
and
straight
like,
off the
lot
bat.
tentacle porn.
I searched for obscure foods, and it was legit like one of the first things that showed up, and it said in brackets South Korea, and I was like, okay, this is Sophie's area of expertise. But
Penis
speaking
fish is my
of
area of expertise.
an area that is hopefully not your expertise, I have a dish for you.
Oh, okay, we're
from
still on
Eastern
that.
Europe.
Wait.
Yeah, okay.
Wait.
No.
Before we do that, since we're still on the line,
Manu wants to talk
I
about
want you
penis
guys.
fish a
I
bit
want you
more.
guys to tell me. I have a list here of the 7 most erotic foods. I want you to.
Is this
Each
okay.
of you has 3 guesses, and you get
Oysters.
points. for
Oysters.
each you
Oh
get.
no. Okay, you took that.
Yeah, that's
All right,
Liam's
then.
point.
Chocolate.
Dark chocolate.
No.
Have to get specific here.
It's 7 foods that are packed with nutrients that can perk up your libido.
Oh, eel. Eel.
Eel is not on that
Oh,
list.
okay.
Penis fish.
Yeah, we did just
Probably.
establish that. Caviar?
Caviar?
No.
Berries. I feel like one of the
No,
berries must be
but
on
close.
there. Oh, okay. Goji berries.
Salmon is on it.
Salmon.
Nuts and seeds. Apples.
Apples.
Beets. And red
Apples.
wine.
This is not a sexy evening.
Apples.
Why? You eat some
Crunch.
apples together. You
Apples
Get-
and oysters.
Yeah, you can
think
juice
about
a
Classic
bit, and then you
pairing.
can juice a bit.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome. Apples are rich in a compound called quercetin, which promotes circulation, treats erectile dysfunction,
If I
and
remember this
manages the
correctly,
symptoms.
Liam once said that apples are his
sorry.
favorite fruit, and now I
Yeah.
think I see why.
100%.
So there was a hidden meaning all along.
Really?
Yeah, I've never put it together, but yeah, they just make me incredibly hard.
Yeah, you weren't wrong, Sophie. Also, like apples have like the most of that compound, but like it's also in strawberries, blueberries,
Yeah, I thought
grapes, cherries, and citrus fruits.
so. I definitely remember goji berries supposedly being good for it.
Manu.
The best thing is-
shopping
I
list.
guess,
No,
I'll add that to
I
my
was-
list.
I was reading the article.
Uh-huh.
Because it said here red wine, which is pretty funny. It's like red wine, a food that like enhances your sex life. And the article literally says, a 2009 study involving 800 women found that regular moderate intake of red wine was linked with higher sexual desire. I'm like, that's just because the men were more tolerable after a glass of red wine, probably. No. It's like, getting wasted always helps. Okay, please, let's move on to the Eastern European dish.
Oh god.
All right, Sophie, this comes from Armenia. It's called Dolma. It has 10
Oh, yeah.
ingredients. I want
Dolma.
you to tell me what they are.
It sounds very bready. Am I right? Am I in the right direction?
Is
Well,
bread
that's not
one
how
of
this
your
game goes.
guesses? No, you've got to give me the 10 ingredients.
The 10
and then I'll
ingredients,
tell
okay.
you what you've said right. I'm putting down bread.
Okay. No. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna go salt because salt's in everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with water as well because I feel like that's pretty
It would be
safe.
fun
I
if
feel
it
like
were
water
dessert.
is cheating because water is almost in like every cooking dish, essentially, in some degree.
What if it's a dessert, Sophie?
Oh, is Manu throwing me off or is he giving me a hint?
I'm putting down water.
I didn't look it up. I have no idea.
Oh, you have
I
no
don't know
idea?
what it
Okay.
is.
I'm gonna go with... I feel like it just sounds like very... like stew-based. I don't know.
What does
like
that even mean?
onion.
Onion? That's four.
Okay.
Daddy, chill.
Give me... Alright. I'm gonna go... What meat's popular in Armenia? Gonna go beef.
Beef?
Yep.
Is that your choice?
Yep. I'm gonna go oxtail, just for the sake of it.
Oxtail?
Yeah, we'll go...
That's number 6.
We'll go very specific.
There's probably like another spice or something in there.
Yeah, true. Okay. All right. Maybe pepper, black pepper.
Black pepper?
Garlic.
Garlic? You've
And-
got 2 more.
Gonna go green capsicum and...
What is that?
You don't
What's
know
a
what it-
capsicum?
Oh,
Bell
bell
pepper.
pepper. We call that capsicums here.
Mm.
And
Interesting.
I'm gonna go potatoes because you can't go wrong with potato.
So, Sophie, would you... let me just read the ingredients of your dish. Sophie's dolma. Bread, salt, water, onion, beef, oxtail, black pepper, garlic, green capsicum, and potatoes.
The oxtail really accentuated that list. I mean, it doesn't sound that bad. How would you cook it?
I was gonna
Is
go...
it stew?
Yep. Chuck it all into a big pot, big cauldron, boil it, easy, done.
Big cup of vodka
Yeah,
to like
exactly.
kill everything that survives.
Well, Sophie, shockingly, you got 5 out of 10 ingredients correct.
Also
Oh.
water.
Dolma
Whoa.
is essentially a stuffed cabbage roll. And the ingredients you got
Hey.
correct were the beef, the onions, the garlic, the salt, and the pepper. So all of the really basic stuff. What you missed was there is rice, there is
Cabbage.
tomato sauce, grape leaves, cabbage, and yogurt. It's a traditional
sounds so
good.
thing of yogurt, yeah.
I think I might have tried this. Well, I tried a very similar dish, but it was Polish.
Yeah, there's also a similar Greek dish, which is like a stuffed paprika, I think. Like
Oh
bell
yeah.
pepper.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Lots of
yours
rice
has
and yogurt.
oxtail and water, so...
I mean,
Yum.
oxtail is a part of the beef, is it not?
Well, then why did you say both beef and oxtail?
Because oxtail sometimes is a very specific ingredient that you need to have on top
Well,
of.
not
To
in
stir-
Dolma.
To stir the pot.
I'm sure you could. Exactly.
Oh my
Sustainable
God.
eating, guys. Sustainable eating. All right, I'll give you one. Okay.
Not the penis fish, please.
I mean, yeah, that was pretty easy, right? Just eat it straight up. It's the best way.
All you need is a penis
One
and a
ingredient.
fish.
I'm gonna give you Manu.
Kimchi.
No, it's like the Asian version of like sauerkraut. It's not. It won't be too hard. It won't be that difficult for you.
It's like, get a barrel, get some
Yeah,
cabbage,
exactly.
put spicy shit in there.
How do you make tororo?
Tororo.
Which is actually a Japanese food.
Tororo.
So I'm making this nice and easy for you, and I'm trying to see, how adventurous you've been in Japan.
How many ingredients are there to Tororo?
Okay, it is a total of
25 ingredients.
no.
Doesn't look like that much.
Six ingredients. Super easy.
But also very high risk, high reward. The more ingredients, the more chance you'll
That is
very
accidentally
true.
stumble
Very
upon
true.
Tororo.
It's spelled Tororo.
Okay, well, like, to come clean right from the start, I don't know what that dish is.
Good.
And like, I'm just thinking if there's like any words in there that I might recognize, but it just doesn't sound like anything. Tororo.
If it helps, I don't see any kanji with its name. It's just flat out
Okay,
hiragana.
that doesn't help really.
Good.
Tororo. Okay, well, I feel like it sounds not like a dessert.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Also because there's not that many traditional Japanese desserts.
That you
Right.
know
Might be
of.
wrong, but I'm like trying to like weigh my chances here. It sounds like Totoro. So I'm just gonna assume there's meat in it. Meat is
Okay.
involved, I will say.
Okay, what
So I
kind
will
of
say
meat?
Totoro is kind of, he's kind of like a kind of tanuki kind of thing, right? So I'm gonna
Tanuki?
go
You're
with
saying tanuki?
Yeah, we're gonna say
I'm saying
there's a
tanuki
raccoon.
meat.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say tanuki.
Tanuki meat. Sure.
Yep.
Raccoon
That's
dog.
one of your
Yep.
6 ingredients.
one.
Delicious chopper meat.
I'm gonna go with miso because there's miso in everything.
Okay.
Miso is 2. I'm gonna go with soy sauce because soy sauce and everything. I'm gonna go with mirin because mirin is also, it's like a sweet sake kind of thing, in
Like
case
a
you don't
cooking
know.
wine.
Are you gonna go with ingredients of substance, or is this a drink that we're having right
No.
now?
No.
Where are we
We're
going?
stewing. I mean, we're doing something with the tanuki
Yeah.
in these sauces.
Yeah.
We're braising the
Yeah.
tanuki.
You need to cook out the flavor. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will
You've got
say-
two left.
Yeah, we're up to 4.
Yeah. I think what we do with the tanuki meat, I'm also gonna go into a bit more of a stew-like situation. So I'm gonna say
Nice
water.
dessert stew. Water.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
So what I
worked
think
out
what I
so well
imagine.
for Sophie.
Yeah, I think like you take a pot of water, you put the raccoon in there. Raccoon tail mostly. I think like
Raccoon
it's like
tail
what-
as well.
Well, that's a delicacy if you can afford it. Yeah. You take the tail.
Classic. Tororo.
You put the Tororo in there. You need also the umbrella that Totoro has.
Is that your final ingredient?
No, it's not. It's not. It's just, that's
Use
that's
it
an
as a
aesthetic.
ladle.
Right.
No, it's an aesthetic.
It's a tool. It's a utensil.
Yeah,
Kitchen
so you put
utensil.
in the soy sauce. You kind of like marinate it. Actually, I'm gonna change my answer. It's not a stew.
What?
I'm not gonna put water in. No, yeah, I've just come up. I just remembered how it's made.
Yep,
So you
okay.
what you do is you take the tanuki and like you chop it up, and then you marinate it in the soy sauce, in the mirin.
Yeah.
You need salt, obviously.
Okay. Salt. You've got one ingredient left.
So I've one left. Yeah. And then you chug it on the grill. So I would say, or maybe you also need to put some garlic in there, just like for the taste.
Some garlic.
Grill it. Yeah.
That's your sixth and final ingredient. Okay.
Yeah.
Here is Manu's Tororo.
I have all correct, right?
Tanuki meat, miso, soy sauce, mirin, salt, and garlic. So it's basically just...
A barbecue. It's a marinated
yes,
barbecue.
essentially, it's basically a marinated meat. Now, Sophie, what is it actually?
Tororo, in English, is grated Japanese mountain yam. Mountain yam.
I should
So-
know that. Of course it is.
The main
my
ingredient is not in
I
fact
know what it is.
totoro, and it is yam. Yes, it's grated yam, but you should have stuck with your gut feeling, Manu, because water is involved. We will give you that. Water is involved.
Is
Soy
it one
sauce
of these?
What
is
Tororo
involved.
is.
Yes,
Oh my
water and
God.
soy sauce are both part of the ingredients. Mirin, no mirin, no miso either. Also, no salt. I thought it was a very brave, bit of an odd decision to have both soy sauce and salt.
And salt, that is true.
Be a-
Also,
quite
let's
a-
put this out there. No tanuki meat.
No totoro. No,
It's true, Tororo, yeah. Like you put like that grated radish, you put it on a lot of things also, like as like a supplement kind of thing also. Like you
Yeah,
can
it
put it on
seems
like,
like you eat
like
it on
sashimi and
top
stuff.
of things. And otherwise, it also has konbu, or which is like seaweed powder,
Seaweed,
sort of a
yeah.
seasoning. Yep, and then also bonito flakes, also for seasoning, I imagine.
So you got less correct than I did.
I was very confident in my
In your
my
barbecue,
grilled tanuki.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Sounded
don't know
pretty
where
good.
you could have gone wrong.
All right, I guess I lose this round. I think we all had very good. We should make all these dishes though
I think so.
when we see each other.
Yeah, I look
Where
forward
gonna
are
be
we
a
going
raccoon.
to
Yeah.
find?
Yeah, we're just gonna find one in Australia that was
Yeah.
run over.
I think it was specifically the tail.
Yeah, because you had the oxtail, so I was like, tanuki tail, sure, why not? We're gonna make the best out of it. Well, to pivot our culinary episode a little bit to another direction, I was thinking since we have our cultural stewing pot here as well in the podcast, I thought it would be fun to compare German and Japanese and Australian and Korean food
Australian
and shame each other. Mostly the Australian food. Why don't we begin, Liam? And why don't you introduce us, me, and I guess not Sophie, but like me and our listeners and viewers into the culinary world of Down Under.
Well, the first thing to learn about Australia is it's very simple. We don't really have a culinary world of our own. We have adopted most of our dishes from overseas. I would say mostly England. So we take a lot of very British dishes. Have
come?
you heard of Vegemite? That's something we can claim.
So what I know is that Vegemite is memed by everyone who's from Australia.
It's delicious.
I don't
It's
actually know what it is. What is it?
It's yeast.
I know you put it on bread.
It's yeast.
Yeah, it's
delicious
delicious
yeast.
salt yeast.
Yeah.
Black.
Yeah, black
Yum.
salt yeast. that
Pairs
you eat
very,
on top
very
of your
well with
bread.
cheese.
And peanut butter.
And butter, like regular
And
butter.
butter, yes. Just
Like,
normal
it
butter.
does surprisingly well with most things.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
I don't know if I'd say like most savory things,
Yes. What else would you eat?
like jam on toast.
Yeah.
Nutella?
That's disgusting, Sophie. But Australian foods, because we haven't adopted a lot of main dishes, well, we have adopted a lot of them. We haven't come up with a lot of our own. I don't know if you know, Australians were convicts, so we stole a lot of our foods from overseas.
It's kind of a thing.
We can claim Lamingtons, can't we? Is Lamingtons ours?
I believe so, and it's one of the many things we can claim that fall into the snack category.
Yeah.
Australians have
Anzac
innovated a
biscuits?
lot of snacks, yes.
What is it?
Anzac biscuits, fairy bread, pavlova, classic Australian dessert.
Anzac biscuits was basically a biscuit that was created during the wartime. I think it was World War One. Basically, when women at home needed to send food to soldiers and needed something that would just not go stale.
Yep, it stands for Australian and New Zealand Army Corps. Anzac.
Anzac biscuits.
And it's like a biscuit. Okay.
Yeah, it's
They're like
oat based.
Quite thick, crunchy biscuits. Very
Is it
nice. Yeah.
It
love
sounds
them.
very good.
It's good with tea if you dunk it.
Okay, I guess obligatory question from a non-Australian person: Do you eat kangaroo?
Yes.
Is it good?
It's alright.
I think it's fine. It's a bit gamier than.
Is it? I was about to ask. Is it?
It's-
It is.
gamey?
It is a
Yeah.
bit gamier.
It's not an ideal meat. It's very much a novelty that you would eat just because there are so many of them. There's a pest that it's one way to get rid of them.
Do you
I mean,
eat
it's-
your bunnies as well? Because you have like
Yeah.
one of those. Like you have a lot of those as well, right?
Yep.
But
we
I
have
feel
a whole
like
fence, a whole
bunnies-
rabbit-proof fence to solve
Yeah.
that problem.
Big rabbit friends. We learned about that in school. Fun fact. I still remember that.
Oh,
that
did you
was
watch
like
the movie?
Yeah.
yeah, we also did that, and we also had like a chapter in our English textbook. And that was like the big rabbit fence. Yeah, I do remember that.
Kangaroos are eaten more often than rabbits, though. Like kangaroos is something
It's
that you'll
in-
see at every
Yeah.
supermarket.
Do you just like chug it on a barbie?
Yeah, you
You can chuck any meat on a barbie.
Yeah, you could chuck a raccoon on a barbie, apparently. So why not the kangaroo?
You're not putting a raccoon on me barbie, mate.
In very rare circumstances, we also eat crocodile as well.
I've
Much
had
harder
Oh,
to
crocodile.
I've had that before.
I have
I've
too.
had that in Thailand.
It was very disappointing because it just tasted like stock
Yeah.
standard meat. Thing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about who told me this. It might have been Gans, because he's lived in
Gans.
Thailand before. Yeah, because he explained to me that because I thought it was sold to me in Bangkok as like a traditional Thai dish, which apparently it's not. It's just like in Bangkok and like just like a tourist thing. Apparently, it tastes also very. I don't know, like not what you would expect it to. Like it was not as intense as I thought it would be.
It wasn't as
definitely not
scaly as I
intense.
thought it was going to be.
Yeah. It's definitely
Well,
a
they
bit
do remove
chewier,
those.
though.
It is, yeah, chewy.
Yeah, we eat Wookiee in when we can
Thank
get
you,
our
thank
hands
you
on
for
them.
that laugh.
They're very expensive.
That was a pity. That was a pity laugh from Sophie. You're a good friend. Thank you.
and another good friend, Liam, trying to swiftly move on from your
Yeah, thank
embarrassing
you.
moment.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, Australia, honestly, our national dish, I would say fairy bread, if I had to choose. Which
And
is
fairy
fairy
bread?
bread.
white
Killing
bread,
fairies.
butter, hundreds and thousands, fairy
It's
bread.
like we have fairy farms.
Yeah, we have
kill
we cook
fairies
the
and
fairies
bake them
on a
into
barbecue.
breads.
That's more of an Icelandic dish, I believe.
No,
Surely
that's
that
how
would
you-
be very
how you
like
declare war
sacrilegious
to
in Ireland.
Iceland.
Yeah, Iceland.
Yeah, absolutely. Ireland as well, probably.
Yeah, true.
What about Korean food then, Sophie? Because I know there's a lot more variety to that.
I mean, it's
How
a
dare
very...
you?
You weren't happy with our fairy bread?
No, for Allah, yeah. Send me some over and I'll judge it.
So it's a really different sort of experience eating like in Korea and then eating out in Australia. Like the thing in Korea is because there are so many different types and variations like of Korean dishes, you have places that are well known for a particular Korean dish or types of Korean dish. Whereas when you eat out in Australia, it's sort of like you go out to eat a specific cuisine. So you go like, oh, I'm going to go out to eat Thai, I'm going to go out to eat Lebanese, burgers or whatever. Whereas in Korea, it's like, I'm going to go eat this particular stew, or I'm going to have like this particular meat over here.
So like the restaurants are kind of specialized in like one dish kind of thing.
Exactly, and they're
I think
not
that's
all
similar
like
to
that.
Japan.
Yeah, and I thought that would be the case. I imagine that
Yeah.
I was actually interested to hear what it's like in Germany because I figured Japan might be similar, but I was, interested about what it's like in Germany in that case.
But first of all, like there's a really good Korean place near where I used to study in Germany,
I'll be the judge of that.
and yeah, maybe. Well, at least for my German unsophisticated tongue, it was very good. It was like their specialty was kimchi bogumbap, in case I
yeah.
pronounced that correctly. That was really good. It's like pork belly and rice and kimchi and a lot of spicy sauce.
Yeah.
I really like that. In general, I feel like German food culture is like a bit underwhelming. It's kind of, I would say like we have more traditional German dishes than you guys maybe, but they're still like
not difficult.
mostly.
If you've got more
Yeah,
than
exactly.
two, you've
200
got more
years
than
of-
us, yeah.
I mean,
200
that's kind
years
of the point.
history.
Yeah.
True. Australia is a very young country. We really haven't had the time
Yeah.
to develop our own
Establish.
food
Yeah.
culture.
Yeah, there's not a lot of, I don't know, I feel like we eat mostly, and like now I'm speaking as a city kid, and like I can't speak that much for the countryside. But like it's mostly like you just eat like food from all over the world. So like for example, like you just have like like different Asian cuisine. So you have like Vietnamese restaurants, you have Thai restaurants, Japanese restaurants. All of them obviously like westernized, and some of them also just like weirdly mixing.
You have like an
Dishes.
Asian restaurant. I've seen
Yeah.
those. Yeah.
There's stuff like that as well. So you can have Chinese food and like ramen and sushi in the same place. And
Asian
Korean
fusion.
Exactly.
Yeah, but then like in general, I feel German food in itself is just not something you can eat every day. Like when I went back the other month,
You can't have worst every day.
yeah, I basically had like meat something every day, which like I think my cholesterol was probably
That's
there.
what I think of with German dishes. I think everything is like this really hearty, like chunk
Yes.
of meat.
Yeah.
yes,
I think so too.
that is pretty accurate. That and bread.
Lots of
pretty
pork.
accurate.
It's
Yeah.
my heaven.
Yes.
I absolutely love the idea of this.
It's really good, but like if you actually eat it every day, you will die a very early death, I think so. Yeah, like a lot of Italian food, like there's a lot of Italian places, pizza, pasta, like also some like for example like when I was living with my parents, so like we'd make like pasta almost every second day or something. Like a lot of Italian food. So it's kind of like a mix, and then like German food, like traditional German food is more something you'd eat like here and there. Like if you wanted something really savory and hearty kind of. And then otherwise bread is like our thing, like our main national dish. So we have over 4,000 types of bread in Germany.
Oh, I'm excited.
And so like that's kind of something we have with everything. Like obviously you can have bread for breakfast. Well, you can have it for lunch as well. You can have it for dinner.
We do that over here. It's called toast.
Nice. That's just one type, though. What's your other 3,999?
Well, it's just the iterations of different toasted bread, I imagine.
Different toast, yeah, nice. But we even, like, in restaurants, you usually get, like, a small, like,
Bread
a
basket?
basket with bread, yeah.
I love that.
Almost everywhere.
Wherever I went to eat in Paris and Italy, they would always give you the bread basket, and it was my favorite part of the meal, which is sad because the food was really great. But like the complimentary bread basket just makes me so happy. And because my
Speaking
wife
like a
is
true
gluten
German, Liam.
intolerant, it was all mine.
You were like, oh my
for
god,
you.
this was, yeah, just for you,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
there was
destroy
no
this
sharing,
bread
yeah.
basket. How was your food? I just want to let you know that every single
Mine.
restaurant, the bread was the best.
That's how it was. My wife got awfully sick of me bragging about the bread.
Stop breading on. Well, anyways, one thing I really like about Japan is that like there's just the amount of restaurants and like little places you can go to. Because like in Germany, there's just not like there's like for example like even if you live in the city, like I grew up in the city, and even there it's like in the city center there's like obviously a lot of restaurants, but like very fast it thins out really quickly. And so for example here in Japan, like even in a small town you have like a lot of like every street kind of like with more than 2 houses has like at least like a ramen shop or like some sort of restaurant there. Like where I live here like in Tokyo, there's like so many restaurants just around me in walking distance. I have like so many choices that I can go to theoretically, which is something I really miss in, I'm not sure I can speak for all of Europe, but most of Europe at least, I'd say.
Yeah, I think I can really relate to that because it's definitely the same in Korea. I think it's really interesting because I think that says a lot about how different places like developed historically. And I imagine like in Korea, for example, they're not like aesthetically, they're not nice looking restaurants. They're usually quite run down, run by like
part of the charm.
old. Exactly. And it is like, but it's majority like that unless you do go like right into the heart of Seoul. And so I think it really is just like family owned.
I know, the Heart of Seoul, it sounds so deep, doesn't
Heart
it?
of Soul. The Heart of Soul sounds like Kingdom Hearts, like the new Kingdom Hearts game.
I imagine they put in a lot of love in these smaller
Yeah,
down
probably.
restaurants
It's good
too.
for Liam.
Yeah, exactly.
There's like a small diner like around the corner. I eat there like I think like 4 or 5 times a week just for lunch and like dinner sometimes. It's run by this very like super old couple. I've asked them, like they've run it for like 47 years.
Yeah, wow.
It's just this tiny diner. Like they've been cooking the same thing for 47 years. It tastes amazing. It's surprisingly cheap. They have like local ingredients. They have so much on their menu. And it's just like the vibe is just because like you sit there, I'm like the white dude who sits there with like the other 10 like regular customers. Like it was really nice becoming like part of that clique over time, because at the beginning I remember the first time I went there, it was kind of like that classic like, yo, you're a tourist, you're not like supposed to be in this kind of place.
We
and
don't
like
like your kind round here.
yeah
Now you taste the heart and soul.
yeah, for New Year's they were like, oh, we're really happy you're our customer, and like we're looking forward to you
That's
coming
so
again this
sweet.
year.
That's so lovely.
Like the thing is with YouTube, like I've been like really growing lazy with cooking, even though I really enjoy cooking myself. So I've been eating out a lot. So like I always get made fun of by my friends when we go somewhere around the area. Everyone in all the restaurants, they always recognize me just because I eat out so much. Yeah, they're like, you should clearly cook more if everyone knows you you in those places.
I mean, I
Yeah.
imagine that's probably why Liam doesn't cook very much either. It seems like, how long did you say it's been since you've cooked?
Since we moved into our new place, so it's been about 1.5 years since I actually cooked.
Yeah. I mean, I would say I still cook quite often, but I definitely cook less than I used to since starting YouTube.
It's a big process. Like even simple dishes, it'll take an hour out of
Yeah,
your
at
day.
least an
Cooking,
hour.
cleaning.
Yeah.
And I could use that hour elsewhere.
I used to be really good with meal prepping, and I used to dedicate like 2-3 hours on a Sunday and I would cook for the rest of the week. But this was back when I was still working in the office. And then with COVID and everyone like working from home, I figured, I can eat fresh food every day. Like how amazing is that? Whereas, and I still enjoy that. Whereas now it's become a bit of a chore because it's like, okay, I have to eat and I have to sustain myself, but it is going to take an hour a day.
I've always wanted to try food prepping. I mean, I guess with like what you're saying, Liam, I felt the same way, where I feel like it's taking such a because you have to do groceries and then cook and prepare everything.
And also just think about what you're going to eat as well.
Plus
like the thinking
that,
time gets added on that.
cleaning up. So it's a whole process, but I will say nonetheless that like whenever I actually end up cooking, I always enjoy it immensely. Like it's a really fun activity.
It's very
so
satisfying.
I'm always
Yeah,
I
I
love
agree.
cooking.
so I love cooking as well, and like I always try to push myself to cook more. So like hopefully it's something I'll put it on my bucket list this year for sure.
Cook more.
List.
Cook
I
more,
always
to
find
cook
that
more.
if I'm just
Dad at the
cooking-
penis fish
Oh, yeah.
and the
tentacles.
Sophie's tentacles.
Yes.
At
My
the same
tentacles.
time.
Clearly.
You have to eat my tentacles. Sophie's tentacles.
What you've got to do is you've got to swallow the penis fish before the tentacles fully grab you.
What even is that? What is Sophie's tentacles? You're gonna kill the octopus for me?
No, it's alive. That's the point.
Yeah, it's the point. It's alive. It's still moving.
It's a race against time, Manu.
You can't let it choke you.
Well, you can if that's what you're into. But,
It can get life-threatening. I don't think.
I feel like you guys are
And
sexually
I take it
abusing me over Zoom.
The octopus probably wouldn't be very good with a safe word, would it?
I don't know. Mana's pretty good with languages. Mana's pretty multilingual.
I speak tackle. Yeah.
Octopus.
So on an unrelated note, as much as I enjoy going back to the tentacle topic as the next person, what I thought was really interesting, like I just had a thought, the more American people or like more American friends I've made over the years, the more I've realized that American food, even obviously America has like based on its history, a very like broad range of like foods if you like actually look for it. But generally, I feel like something that like all my American friends have in common is that they love Mexican food, and it's kind of like American food is Mexican food. Does that like, did you ever encounter that phenomenon, or is it just something I kind of like mistakenly? Okay.
When I went to New York, there was so many different Mexican restaurants. It was fantastic. Loved it.
Not only that, but like people I know here in Japan or in Germany, like it's always like, let's do Tex-Mex and let's like make tacos and this and that.
This is making me hungry for some Mad Mex right about now.
Oh, yeah, Mexican. I like Mexican food a lot. I know that the Mexican food truck scene is very big in Los Angeles.
We should meet up for an anime expo.
Yeah, for a taco expo.
Yeah.
All the way across the world just to
Yeah.
go into a very crowded room. I'm down for the food truck. I'm less keen on the convention itself.
Just the food, just the
Yeah.
Mexican food.
Well, that's the thing. Going to conventions, like in my older age, and by older I mean, 20 years plus, you never actually went into the convention. You basically just went there to meet up with your friends outside and like eat and drink and such.
I'm gonna be honest, I haven't been to many conventions in my still young life.
I've never been to a convention, so I wouldn't know. You don't cosplay though?
Me or Manu?
Either of you. I mean, if you guys
I've never
have
been to an anime convention.
Oh, right. I mean, me too. I've never been to an anime convention. That's what I meant.
So I hope I can go this year, because I'm really curious.
You should go to Jump Festa. That is exactly what I would do if I was in Japan.
In Japan?
Yeah.
I'll look into it.
I mean, you have essentially a whole year to come up with a costume, so
Do you have to dress up?
I don't
Yes.
think so. Oh.
I'm gonna
Yes.
say yes.
If Liam says so,
Take my word.
can't
for
help it. Shogunai.
it. You could go as Frankie or something. It'd be great. People would love you.
Dye my hair green, go as Zoro. I have been told I think I shaved like my upper lip once because I wanted to go for the Khabib look, like the MMA fighter. You know, Sophie, who I talk about.
Yeah. Whereas when you do that, you just look like Hitler to me.
So I did like this. Because I thought it would be funny. No, so I shaved my upper lip, and like what ended up happening was that like the 2 videos I filmed with that look, people were commenting that I look like Rayleigh, so I could probably
Oh,
pull
with
that
like
off.
the little crenulating beard. Yeah.
Yeah, because like he has like the upper lip shaved, and then like I think I was wearing
Your
these glasses as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you grow your hair out, you could probably
Yeah.
pull that off.
Just get in a bit more
And then
silver.
like get the scar here.
Yeah.
I tried actually last year. Fun fact: last year I was finally rebellious enough in my life for the first time to try and dye my hair. So what I did is like I went to the hairdresser. I like got it bleached for the first time in my life. Took forever. Hurt actually. So that was surprising. You like the bleach kind of like attacks your skin and stuff. So that took a while. And then I was like exactly what you said, Sophie. I thought like a light gray would look really cool. So I wanted to try that. I went out of the barber. I looked in the mirror. I was like, oh, light gray, it looks really cool. I swear, by the time I got home, my hair color was the exact same color it always is. This is like my normal ass hair color. I was like, what the hell did I just pay? Like almost $100
You went too subtle.
for like this. Yeah, probably. I paid $100 to dye my hair the exact same color it always is anyways. I was very disappointed by that.
It surprises me, Manu, that it took you an hour to dye your hair and then it didn't even show up. Because that's one of the problems that I have if I ever want to change hair colors or if I want to, get streaks in or anything. Because my hair is so dark, it takes more than just one round of bleach. My sister just went ash gray, or half of her hair ash gray, and I was actually thinking of going my whole hair ash gray. But she told me that she had to spend
Very
5
Final
hours
Fantasy.
bleaching her hair.
Yeah, it's cool.
5 hours bleaching her hair, and I was just like, I don't have time to sit for 5 hours for someone to bleach my hair.
Well, I can't speak for your hair because I haven't touched it yet, Sophie.
Yet.
But like usually
Yet.
as I've been
Keyword.
Yet.
I was gonna be like a cat. Wow. Anyways, like the darker your hair, and like I think Asian hair tends to be thicker, so that's why I preface this. I don't know, like maybe you don't have thick hair, but like it tends to be a bit thicker, and I have like very thin, dark blonde hair. So that took like one round of dyeing And it's also short, while yours is
I mean,
long,
of course.
black, and probably thicker than mine.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I would say my hair is quite similar to yours, Manu, but even I would not be able to get away with like a proper dye job with one round of bleaching.
I don't think so.
really, did you try it before? Did you have your hair dyed before?
In university, I dyed my hair green. No, there are no pictures, but I needed 2 rounds of bleaching to go through it because I did it once with 1 round and it turned into this like really shitty green.
What do we have to do to get you to dye your hair green again?
Just take him to a convention so he can cosplay as Zoro. Easy.
I think I'm too short to be Zoro. Be a very disappointing Zoro. Like, I would need you, Sophie, to cosplay Luffy to make me look good.
That can be arranged.
You can cosplay the guy who was pretending to be Zoro.
Oh,
after
Manjaro,
Oh,
yeah. I would
yes.
make a much better Manjaro, actually. He's like short and kind of chubby. Yeah, that would work out fine. Fake Zoro.
There you go. So what do we have to do to make that happen?
Well, we need to get together a group of fake straw hats, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, we can make that happen.
We'll work on him.
Yeah, that'll be very meta. I love it. I love it, actually.
Those guys are great.
We're cosplaying
Yeah.
the fake straw hats. That'd be
Exactly.
pretty funny.
We're the fake straw hats as fake straw hats.
My favorite thing is seeing fan art of the fake straw hats in One Piece panels. Like, they recently did the Gear 5th one. Of, like,
Oh, I
the
saw
really
that,
fat
yes.
Luffy making the Gear 5th pose.
It's
Yeah.
hilarious.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen that.
So did you not take photos of yourself whilst you had green hair because you just weren't very impressed with your green hair, or?
I didn't take photos of the first round because, like I said, they were very shit. So I did go back for a this time 2 rounds of bleaching, and then it was a much more impressive green. But I have purged them
Oh no.
because, as cool as I thought it looked at the time, looking back on it, it was not a great look.
How dare you?
Some like a
Not
biggest...
even keep them for
Yeah,
memory.
exactly. Just for us
I
to share
remember
them
it.
on the
Oh,
podcast.
I remember it.
One of my biggest regrets is that I didn't take a lot of photos when I was a lot more adventurous with my hair. So back in high school, I completely shaved my hair bald but that was for charity. So there's a charity in Australia called the World's Greatest Shave where you do it for leukemia. You raise funds for leukemia. So I shaved my whole hair. And then in my first year of uni, I shaved just one side of my hair. And I remember I came home and my mom cried. Every now and then, I flirt with the idea of shaving my hair again, but I think it will really upset my mum again.
I think it will look cool.
How did
I
it
can imagine
feel?
it looking good. Do you have a picture?
I do have photos, but I only have maybe 1 or 2 photos of each time. That's what I'm saying. I really regret it now that I didn't take more photos back then because I'm just not someone who takes a lot of photos in general, but I think those are moments that I think I should have kept. When you're bald, it feels really nice. It's like velvet. It was like...
I know.
I remember,
I've had that before.
Yeah, it's nice, right? I remember when I was in high school, I was like, it felt like the perfect analogy would be sort of like, you know, when women are pregnant and everyone feels like they want to touch their belly and be like, can I
Yes.
feel
Your head
that
kicks?
Yes.
Yeah, but it was like my head. They were like, can I just touch your head? And I'm like,
right.
yeah, go for it. We're
But
all
that's for
just
guys
like-
as well.
Yeah, it's really nice.
If you have like a shaved head, yeah.
Yeah, it's like
That's usually how it
velvet.
goes.
I have
I
never
think that's cool.
once had a bald head. Not even when I was born. Because I was born with a full head of hair, weirdly enough.
Oh, and
Like
your
that,
parents...
exactly the same
Yeah,
hairstyle.
exactly.
that he
Just
has
Pretty
right
much.
now.
Except I was born with much darker hair. It was very black. Then it went like super blonde, and then it settled on this like shitty brownie blonde. You know the one, Manu.
I was the same. I was like helium blonde almost when I was
Oh.
like a kid.
Yeah, me too.
Wow.
Like blonde and like yeah, it went really dark at some point. I'm gonna be honest, like for me it took a while to like actually like experiment with like my appearance a bit more, not necessarily because I was like afraid of it, but more like just because like I didn't care too much. But like yeah, I feel like in recent years I've been like trying out more things, so, like bleaching last year, and I also like grew my hair out last year and the 2 years before. I'm not sure, did you probably saw that maybe.
Oh yeah,
I had, like,
I've
the
seen you
proper,
with
like,
the man
samurai
bun.
bun.
Yes.
Yeah, I had like a man bun.
Yeah.
I mean, I did like not bold shave, but like to like a
Like a
half
crew
a
cut?
centimeter or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a military cut. I had that a couple of times. I've been like playing with the idea of getting like either like ear pierces or like a tattoo for a while. I'm not quite there yet.
Just what, like a
It's on my
tattoo
list.
right across your face? Or...
Yeah, exactly. Actually, a tattoo of a man bun.
Oh. I love it. I think.
No, I would really, honestly, I would genuinely like I'd be really interested in getting like I know that really good tattoos are very expensive, so I'd have to like save up for it and like find a really good artist. But I'd be interested, like if I ever got a tattoo, I would want to go for like a full sleeve kind of thing.
You're
like a
talking
whole piece.
thousands of dollars there, yeah.
Yeah,
And a lot of time.
It won't be in just one sitting. You'll have to go back and do a couple of hours for months.
Yes.
Months.
But I back you because I've always wanted a half sleeve. I didn't want it all down my arm, but I always wanted it down to my elbow. Yeah, just on my upper arm.
Okay.
But I don't have the patience for it. I have 2 very small tattoos. They're like line art. So they I think they took 20 minutes each, maybe less than an hour.
Nice.
And still then, I just did not have the patience to sit still and let them do their work.
That's called ADHD, I'm pretty sure.
You know what? Like that, I've got no response to that. Should probably get it checked because I don't have great concentration in general.
I feel you though. I'm a bit like that as well. But I feel like for that, I don't know. If it's like, I'd be willing, like if I actually found, because there's a couple of tattoo artists I follow that I think I really enjoy their work. And so, yeah, I gave myself like a kind of like a fake limit. I was like, I'm going to wait at least till I'm 28 because like if I still want a tattoo when I'm 28, like then I'm going to get it.
That's
like,
very surprisingly responsible of you.
Yeah, it's very mature of you.
Thank you.
It's a very parental thing to say.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was really interesting also because like my mom was always like very like, you do whatever.
Uh-oh.
And like my dad was usually like the one like, please don't get a tattoo. But like recently when I went to Germany, we talked about it and he was like, oh yeah, well we can get a tattoo together.
Oh, that's
And
sweet.
I thought he was because like we're very sarcastic in the family. So I thought he was clearly bullshitting. But he was like, I think I'm like 90% sure he was serious about it. So I'm like, nice.
Let's test it.
Clearly.
I remember when I got the tattoo, I also didn't tell my parents and I just got it. I mean, I was an adult by that stage, so I don't think it mattered.
Oh, but you're
I
an
still
Asian
think,
adult.
Yeah, so I think they still felt a bit upset. And at first my mom was like, oh, but then a week later she saw it and she was like, it's actually kind of cute. So she's warmed around to it.
Nice. Is it on your shoulder?
It's in my back. It's on my left.
I feel like we've spoken
You got
about
it.
this
You got it.
before.
Why do you get it on the? Yeah, probably. I think
Yeah,
we
we
have.
did actually.
Yeah.
Why did you get it on your back where you can't see it yourself?
I don't know. I can see it when I'm looking in the mirror. It was a very impulsive decision. So I was the complete opposite to you, Manu. And I was on a trip. I was on a holiday in Korea. And my friend was like, oh, I'm thinking of getting tattoos because I don't know why she decided Korea was the best place because getting tattoos is actually illegal in Korea. So this had to be underground. Yeah, so I got a tattoo illegally.
So were you allowed back into the country? Or?
Yeah, so I just have to cover up. No. I don't think they actually care.
That's another thing why I want to wait, just like living in Japan at the moment.
Oh, especially if you want a
Like-
whole sleeve.
Yeah. So I mean, like, for example, like there's like I love going like there's a difference between like onsen, which is like actually like hot springs, and like just like bath. Is it a bathhouse or a bathing house? A bathhouse, I guess.
You tell me, we don't have them.
A bathhouse.
Like the
Bathhouse.
English term is. Would you say bathhouse?
Yeah. Bathhouse.
Okay. So those usually like the one I go to. I mean, like many of them, there's just like yakuza people running around and like just regular people with tattoos. So like a lot of those are very okay with it. I'm just thinking it's a waste for all the places you can't go to, which is still a bunch, and like usually the nicer places. So yeah, that's another reason. Did you ever get like your ears pierced or something, Liam?
No. I've been told that I should by several people, but no.
Because I've been thinking about that as well, but I'm really
You've been
scared.
thinking about me getting my ears pierced.
Yeah, at night I just think Liam would look really
It's
great.
just yeah, it just creeps into my mind sometimes. Liam would look great with piercing. No, I've been thinking about getting my ears pierced as well. I'm just like really worried that it would look really fuckboyish, which is like what
Yeah.
I'm very scared of.
You're already bordering
like-
on that enough.
It's like you could go the whole
Ouch.
way and dye your hair as well.
Ouch.
Get a tattoo.
And get a tattoo that says
Exactly.
fuckboy, FUCCBOI.
Yeah, with double C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With double C and OI.
Just like right across your chest.
Thick boy, fuck boy. What do you think, Sophie? Is that like something that's worth trying as a guy, you think, or?
Ears pierced? I mean, either way, it's not something that I've ever really like
Thought about.
noticed or thought like, oh,
Okay.
like that looks good or doesn't look good. But yeah, I mean, go for it. If you want it, go for it. Just a standard earring, or actually something that I do probably like a bit more was what are they called? Spaces?
Yeah.
Oh, the loops.
Yeah, the one.
like
Yeah,
you
the one
see,
where you like have a bit of a bigger
Where you go
hole.
like ridiculous big.
Not like huge. This is for myself. I always thought about like getting a tiny spacer as well. But my problem is I also don't I don't spend enough time like maintaining things on my appearance. So that's why I've never
Sophie,
gotten my
your
hair
version
dyed.
of yourself is hardcore. It's like dyed hair,
Right?
half shaved off, spacer, like
Yeah, I'm
sleeve.
like learning. But you too, Liam. Like I don't know, like going back, you like being in the rave scene and like dyed green hair.
That
Yeah.
is my
We
sort of
had
past,
wild
yes.
past.
Clearly, I'm the conservative on this podcast somehow. Not sure how that happened.
But I'm always just teetering on the edge. I wouldn't want to go like full spacer. And it was a thought that I had when I was a bit younger.
You just have regular earpieces, right?
Yeah, just regular earpieces. When I was young, when I was like, I can't remember, like 12, 13 it must have been, I got my cartilage pierced and my parents didn't like that. And my
like
whole
the tip
motto growing up, my motto growing up was ask for forgiveness, not permission. So that's how I went around with everything. So I came home with my ears
It's a
pierced
good motto.
here. Yeah, usually works.
Yeah. How many times did your mother cry because of this motto?
We won't disclose that. My mum and I have a great relationship.
Even though she watches movies without you now.
Yeah, exactly.
Spoils them for you when
Yeah.
you do watch them.
Yeah, clearly her way of getting back
Getting
to
me
you.
back. Yeah, get me where
Yeah.
it really hurts. But my ears, it got infected, and then I had to I ended up taking them out, and it ended up being one of those cases where it's like, this is why you have to listen to your parents. And I remember being very annoyed about that when I was a child, and now I just haven't. And that's partly why I just don't experiment as much anymore, because I just can't be bothered with maintenance of things.
Yep. It takes time.
Maintenance.
It goes
does.
back to time again, just like
Yeah.
cooking. I thought the growing out a beard would mean less maintenance, but you got to like maintain the beard as well.
Yeah.
It's like, what
Yes,
even is the
yes.
point anymore?
It looks good.
Thank
like your
you.
beard.
Yeah, I like
it
your beard.
still takes time.
I like both your beards.
Thanks. I like yours too, Sophie.
Thank you. I
Same.
mean, this is something that I've maintained for my past, my entire life. I'm very proud of it.
But I think right now my life is very much about bare minimum maintenance, so that I can invest all of my time into
Into YouTube.
making videos about pirates.
Since I'm right now, I'm sure like if you talk to me again in 2 or 3 weeks, probably I'll be like exactly with you there again, Liam, as I was for most of the last year. But like coming out of like a bit of I had like kind of, like coming out of a break and everything, even if it's just for 2 weeks. And I've kind of like decided for myself also to like force myself now this time. I was always thinking that it would be a good idea, suggestive kind of like to take weekends off or have at least like one day off. But now I'm like gonna force myself. But like coming from that perspective, I'm curious, like, do you have like a exit? Like, cause I didn't have an exit strategy. My exit strategy was like drive against the wall and then be like, oh, I should probably take a break. So do you have like anything where you're like, okay, like at some point I'm gonna take it easier, or is it like something when I hit 1 million subscribers or in 5 years, or do you have any sort of plan when to like slow down a little bit?
I feel like that 1 million is a good number for potentially slowing down, but at the same time I know that as soon as I get there I'll be like, alright, that's like 1 million people who like things now, so I should probably try and make them happy and do more. Or maybe not do more in terms of like quantity, but in terms of quality.
Fair enough.
All right.
Which still takes
Either way,
time.
more effort.
Yeah,
Anything
which also
it can
takes
take
time,
up
yeah.
more
Yeah.
time, yes.
Well, that's a good question then. Like, do you find that you have to take time out, for yourself, or to take breaks just to make sure that you can keep going?
Yeah, absolutely. I do every day. I think I've said before I take my dog for about an hour and a half
that
walk
enough,
every
though?
day.
Yeah.
Well, no, there are other breaks. I also play virtual reality table tennis. Is
that still going?
Did you meet the guy again?
Yeah.
No, I don't think I've met the jerk off guy again.
The jerk.
He was such a jerk.
the
off.
jerk off jerk.
No, I've met other interesting people, but none quite that interesting. But there does come a point, usually when I start getting like a splitting headache, that I know that I just have to leave this room for 20 minutes or so, and that happens a couple of times a day.
Oh, okay.
I will
does
say,
not
I
sound
don't
healthy.
have the healthiest
I'm gonna
work
throw that out
schedule.
there.
You can say that. It is true.
I don't think any of us, it doesn't sound like any of us have the healthiest work schedules.
I would argue that
because
yours is probably
Yeah.
the worst of all of us, Sophie. How many jobs do you still have at the moment?
I'm still working 3 jobs,
Yes.
and that's not including YouTube. So if I count YouTube, that's more. But which is funny because like I would still say that maybe I felt like I felt like I was pretty healthy because it's a nice balance, like of doing other
Of
things.
work and
but
work,
it also but it
I
does
will
mean that
no, but I don't think you're wrong necessarily.
yeah, it does
Like
mean
the
that
2
like,
weeks I took off, I was still working on like other things, but just it being something different. It was even still YouTube related. So, but nonetheless, it felt very refreshing because it was like a break from the normal status quo. So I think it's not as ridiculous as you make it sound. Like I
Yeah.
totally get where you're coming from.
right? Because it's not just solely on one topic. I do have to say though, the one thing that I'm really trying to work on is my sleep, because my sleep is what suffers the most. And sleep is such an important part of health. And it really bothers me because like I'm actually someone who really tries to live a balanced life. And I suppose bringing that back to food, I think that's really important. And food as well.
Nutrition, yeah.
Yeah, nutrition wise. Like I'm not like the biggest health freak, but I think everything should be done in moderation.
I just want to throw out that I was really jealous when when we talked about, I think was that the first episode where we talked about guilty pleasures? I think so. And when you talked about tanning and stuff, because like in a way, like I remember at that point I was kind of like, oh, so much time you could be working on YouTube. But I feel like I was also kind of jealous, or like still am, that you have like, you prioritize also things you enjoy outside. And like I feel like it's really important. Like it's just something I got reminded of again recently, like how important it is to also live your life a little bit. For example, like I
Yeah.
hit 500,000 subs very recently, like not even a month ago. Oh, thank you. That was the only reason I wanted to mention it, to get applause. No, but like I remember like it at the time when I hit it, I was so much in the grind that like my only thought was like, oh man, another 500k to a million. Yeah, it was literally like, oh my god, I'm so far away from a million. And like only now with like a bit of pause and break was that like did I even allow myself to like process it and like be a little bit proud and like happy about it in the first place.
And also, it's not as bad as it sounds. You're
also-
like a year away at most. I think that's potentially a better way of looking at it. But I get what you mean. It's hard to like celebrate those milestones because you just immediately start thinking, all right, next thing to get.
How happy were you about your 800k, or like you're very close to 900? Like how happy are you actually going to be about it, right?
This is kind of sad. I wasn't as happy about 800,000 as I was 100,000.
No, it is
I
the
can understand.
100,000.
I think that was probably the biggest moment that I've had so far, the 100, as opposed to any of the others.
So I can't talk about, like, obviously you're gonna hit a million before me, but like people
It's
I've talked to, other YouTubers.
Necessarily true.
No, it is. I think so. Let's stop it. Don't push me.
They have like
Gotta
a
take it
mental
easy.
breakdown. You guys have a
Yeah.
mental breakdown. No, you.
You did first. But yeah, I've heard that from a couple of like YouTubers I've talked to who are over 1 million subs, that like all of them told me the same thing, like independently, that 100,000 is just, it's the milestone. Like
Really?
even when they hit 1 million, yeah, like even 1 million didn't feel the same way.
Wow.
Well, that's slightly
A hun-
depressing.
But I mean, 100,000 is kind of like when you make that jump to kind of like legit.
It's a big number.
Yeah.
And if you keep doing what you're doing, even if you're not like crazy grinding, but just like keep working on it, like once you hit 100,000, you will keep growing to a certain degree. And like, that's when you start getting like serious sponsors and you kind of feel like a bit more legit to the viewer. So apparently, like for many people in retrospect, that was the biggest.
Suppose it's also the first moment where you get some like physical validation
Yeah,
of
from YouTube.
what you've done as well, yeah.
I mean, speaking as someone who is really striving for that 100
By the end of the
goal
year?
this year, yeah, like that's definitely how I view it. Because 1 million just seems so far off. It's like, like a
It seems impossible,
yeah,
doesn't
exactly.
it?
It does. Whereas like 100k feels really like the equivalent of my 1 million. It's something that I'm like, yes, like once
It
I
is
hit
within
100K,
grasp.
Exactly, I would. I mean, it's wouldn't say it's necessarily within grasp.
I would. You've had more growth over like the last month or so than several other YouTubers who have already surpassed that. level.
How are you doing, Sophie, by the way? Where are you at the moment?
I am just over 40k at the moment.
Which is huge. That's like a 10,000 subscriber increase.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
holy
mean,
hell.
I suppose at my level, I'm definitely very proud of it, and I'm very happy about it.
Keep going at this rate. You're going to surpass Dude in a Room.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Liam's just throwing these around. They're empty compliments at this stage.
Yeah, they are. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about it.
It's like,
You might surpass my smallest channel that I just recently started.
Can't tell if Liam's being nice or a jerk.
No, being nice.
It's like Sophie, if you keep doing what you're doing, you might reach the amount of monthly views that I get in a day. Keep going for it.
I understood the sentiment.
That would be quite impressive because I have like exterior momentum on that. So for you to be surpassing that with just what you've built is amazing. Like, legitimately.
Thank you. I mean, I'll have to get there first. So
yeah, just do it.
But I would agree. It's like a legit question that like I think we all are everyone's struggling with. Like, the more YouTube becomes like a main thing or like a big thing in your life or the thing in your life, the harder it is to to find a good balance with your actual life and interests.
I think it may depend, because we're obviously all very niche YouTubers who focus on One Piece. I think it depends on what's happening in One Piece at the time as well, as to how much that balance works out. Because I know that over the last 3 or so weeks, I've been even more out of balance than usual, just due to
it was very tiresome.
Intense happenings.
Yeah, it was very even though as a fan, it was fantastic. What happened as a creator, it was very tiring. I remember we had the discussion, I think, off camera, where it was like, I hope it is over. But we were talking about after the second chapter in Erotic, it was like everyone going completely bonkers. I was like, this.
Yeah, it was intense.
Those 2 weeks where I crashed the wall. The wall was coming up anyways, even without the hype around One Piece that was at in March. But that definitely drove me against the wall a lot faster than maybe otherwise I would have. Yeah, that was tiring in a way, I feel.
Tiring, but very satisfying. It was
one
of those,
of course.
Very rewarding.
Those moments are like why you do this, so that you can revel in the amazingness with everyone else.
Yes.
And just, get to geek out and be a big old fanboy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I'm curious. It's difficult also because at least me, just speaking from my personal perspective, I'm someone who is very competitive in general. So I like comparing me to myself. YouTube loves comparing each of us to themselves, and then you also compare yourself to others. So for example, I think we talked about this before as well, Liam. You have I think both of us have pushed each other to new heights over the last half year or almost year now.
Without
which is
you,
great,
I
but
wouldn't be where I am, I don't think.
Same, but at the same time, also you have made it really hard for me to balance my personal life with my YouTube as well.
You're welcome.
Which is my fault, of course, but yeah. So yeah, it's hard because I don't know. It's like with anything, even with a game. Well, you're when you're doing it daily and grinding really hard, taking a 1 or 2 week break, as Liam would say in YouTube years, it feels like years have passed in YouTube terms, which is not really the case. It's kind of I think a narrative that's very common within YouTubers, that when you take time off, it basically everyone forgets about you and your channel dies off slowly, and it's going to be really hard to come back. And I think that if you actually go away for half a year or months at a time, I feel like that might actually be true. But I think, obviously, I didn't get the same views as when I was uploading 2 videos a week or something, but, the channel did not die or anything in those 2 weeks, so...
Yeah, congratulations. You still have a job.
Yes.
Yeah. That's reassuring. But yeah, it's definitely difficult, and, a real... I don't know, it's like a luxury problem, but still a problem, if that makes sense. I guess, you guys will understand, but maybe to
very
the viewers,
first
it might
world
sound...
problems. Very.
Yeah. But still. Well, I think to end this podcast, a quick round of favorite dishes to round it off with the topic we originally started off. Sophie, you're thinking a lot, so I'm gonna catch you in the...
My favorite food. Okay, my favorite food, very easy. Fries and ice cream.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Fries and ice cream. And peanut butter.
And you're gonna mix them, aren't you?
Peanut
You're
butter.
gonna mix them
yeah.
also. Okay.
I definitely dip.
Absolute favorite food? Pho. Vietnamese noodle soup. Love it.
That's a
Nice.
good one.
Cannot get enough.
Tzatziki, Greek food.
Oh,
Yes,
like the
very
dip?
good,
Yes,
yeah.
very good.
End of podcast.